Anime and manga, like many other entertainment mediums, is something that loves to be innovative with their concepts, but it's rare to see something in the romance genre move out from its regular tropes. Now don't get me wrong, there are many romance anime series that will still deliver a great show with a great premise such as Dora or Your Lie in April, but these shows deliver nothing innovative beyond just a love story. And that's all before A1 released Kaguya-sama, Love is War in January 2019. It was based on the manga of the same name, which was very much underrated before the anime's release. But with the release of this rom-com anime, both the anime and the manga gained a huge viewership plus a loyal fan base. So what does Kaguya-sama do compared to other anime of the same genre? Let's talk about what makes this show both unique and one of the best out there.
Oh, love me, mister. Oh, mister.
A different take on the romantic concept. Every romance show may feature a different cast, but overall has the same basic plot. A girl or boy falls in love with another girl or boy, and either their love blossoms amid the tensions, or it leads to a certain tragedy. Now, it's rare to see movies or TV series move out of this formula, but with anime, there's always space for some innovative concepts. Love is War tells the story of two proud students, namely Kaguya and Shirogane, who are already in love with each other, but not willing to acknowledge it. Unlike other shows, the fanbase doesn't have to argue which girl the male character will end up with, because it's established from the first episode itself that Kaguya is the love interest of Shirogane and vice versa. But the main trick of this show is using the personalities of both Kaguya and Shirogane to generate comedy and tension needed for the show. As we mentioned, both of them are proud and not willing to acknowledge their love for each other. This often leads to funny and embarrassing situations that result in one of their defeats.
そうかそうか、ご大層な恋だな。
私が心配ならなりふり構わず止めるのが道理でしょ。会長。
One of the criticisms aimed for this show is that the characters aren't too complex, but Love is War was never designed to be a show with complex characters and philosophical ideals, but just to be the love story of two proud students. We've got Shirogane, a boy who comes from a poor family, studies hard, and because of this gained the student council position. Kaguya, on the other hand, is a girl born to a noble and rich family and was also gifted with skill and talent. In the second episode, the narrator explains how she'd won award after award in competitions and stands out as one of the most brilliant students in the school. We've also got two fan-favourite supporting characters, Chika Fujiwara and Yu Ishigami. Chika is the not-so-smart one in the council, but is always the one to lighten up the mood in any situation, ironically because she doesn't understand the situation itself. The student council's data analyst, as Shirogane calls him, is Yu Ishigami. Looking at these characters, we can see all of them are written to match archetypes. The student council president, the smart girl, all of these are tropes that have been established in anime previously, but what Love is War does differently is the execution of these events. I believe that people are invested in these characters because of their flaws. Both Shirogane and Kaguya are skilled and are geniuses, but their fatal flaw is their pride. Their pride leads them into embarrassing situations or sometimes events that make them realize their own mistakes. Fujiwara's stupidness or her inability to understand the situation also makes her do something completely opposite to what the two lovers have planned, which ruins their grand plan, and the repercussions of her doing this always leads to something funny. So these characters and their interactions are one of the show's main strengths.
そうですね。私は藤原さんです。私ですか？
The scenarios or the various events happening inside the student council room or outside in their private lives is what keeps us hooked and makes us take the sides of one of the characters. This is how Love is War turns the tables on the romance genre and delivers a great show. To analyze it a bit further, let's take one instance and I'll show you how they execute the theme of pride perfectly.
無論ブラフ。両者のカバンの中にはしっかり折りたたみ傘が入っている。
In the 5th episode of the first season, we're thrown into an interesting scenario. After the day's work is done, Kaguya and President Shirogane decide to leave school only to find that it's raining. Now, both of them have umbrellas in their bags, but as they're about to step out, both of them claim at the same time that they've forgotten their umbrella. What's funnier in this situation is that both of them have planned these events to happen, just like the evil student Machiavellians. Shirogane had planned not to tell Kaguya that he doesn't have an umbrella an hour ago, and Kaguya, on the other hand, had analysed the weather forecast, checked the weather, and even flattened out one of the tyres on her car so that there would be no one to pick her up. So what's stopping them from just picking up their umbrella and offering it to the other? Well, it's their pride. None of the two want to submit to the other as the person who offered the umbrella because that signifies that they're interested in the other person. Now, we chose this incident because this is a good example of how the story creates tension using a minor incident like this. Sure, this isn't the level of tension with higher stakes you see in anime like Death Note, nor some sort of death game level of suspense like The Future Diary or Darwin's Game, but this is just a simple scenario that's used to keep the viewer hooked. The rain outside prevents both of them from going outside, and their only choice is to let go of their pride and reveal that one of them has the umbrella. But rather than going down that route, the two begin to cleverly utter sarcastic comments to each other and try to force the other person to reveal that they actually have an umbrella. As it turns out, no one becomes the victor of the battle as Fujiwara gives them an umbrella. Kaguya's long-planned victory comes to a halt, and Shirogane has nothing to do but to keep his mouth shut and subdue. Both of them from there onwards use the umbrella, and to depict the funny side of it, the show even portrays how both of them hold the umbrella even after it stopped raining.
円満に彼氏と別れる方法が知りたいんです。私あと 2,3 段階手前の相談だと思ってました。
Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about Kaguya-sama Love is War is the addition of Subhasa Tanuma and Nagisa Kashiwagi. Now, you may not remember them from their names, but Subhasa is the boy who has a crush on Nagisa and consults Shirogane for advice, and Nagisa, on the other hand, consults Kaguya when Subhasa makes advances at her. Even though this seems like another chapter in the student council, the really interesting factor here is the two characters, Subhasa and Nagisa. Both of them are completely opposite to their mentoring counterparts. Subhasa reveals his love to Nagisa without second thought, which is completely the opposite to Shirogane's personality, and Nagisa accepts his love without thinking twice, which is the flip side of Kaguya's personality. Both of these characters are like the complete opposite of the main duo, and by adding Kaguya and Shirogane as their mentors, those two giving awkward love advice to the pair is what makes the situation more sarcastic. But most situations end when Shirogane and Kaguya learn something, which is ironic considering that these two are meant to give advice in the first place. The personalities of both Subhasa and Nagisa help Shirogane and Kaguya understand their own flaws, or sometimes even understand themselves. A good example for this is when Fujiwara advises Nagisa that girls will get jealous if they see the boy they like with another girl. Kaguya reacts to this even worse than Nagisa, imagining Shirogane with Fujiwara and getting depressed over it. The mere thought shows how much she likes Shirogane as a person, yet doesn't lack the courage to confess to him because of her pride.
もしかして意識してる?
Every show has an underlying meaning, and in Love is War, it's about love and confession. Now, even though the theme of love is common in TV series, the theme of confession is something rarely touched on. Yes, you've got the boy who's trying to confess to the girl and needs an entire season to understand he really likes her, or the girl who's afraid to confess because she's just too embarrassed. But in Love is War, confession is the issue that runs through all its seasons, and what the story subtly tries to tell us is to let go of pride. And at times it's not all about comedy. The first season finale was something truly astounding, as we get to realize Kaguya's background and also how much the student council president Shirogane cares about her. Amid all of the comedy, there are also themes of teenage feelings, family relationships, and also an important lesson about true love. So to finish off this video, I think Love is War is one of the best anime to come out in recent years in respect to its genre. Its main strength isn't only its concept, but also the great short stories that surround the plot and the efficient execution of character personalities to match the themes and concept of the show. Season 2 of the show just finished, so we hope you checked it out for some laughs as well. And if you haven't watched the series so far, I hope this video changed your mind, and if you have watched the series, I think this video helped you understand how great it is, even while being a simple rom-com. That's it for today, anime fans. If you enjoyed the video, please like and share, and if you want to see more anime analysis and discussions like this, please subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in our next video.